Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMAjunkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMAjunkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMAjunkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMAjunkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMAjunkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Go.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMAjunkie Radio Show. It is Wednesday, December 28th, and it's fight week. This goes to my left, Danny back east. He's going to be producing the show, and our co-host for the first hour is Alliance MMA head coach, Alliance MMA matchmaker, husband, father, one of the brightest minds in the sport, Eric Del Fierro. EDF, can we do that, or do you want to go by
EDF
Eric?
is fine. That's actually my abbreviation for my name.
It's a pleasure to have you
Thank
here,
you.
man. We've had you on the show many times via the phone, and now we get this bright mind in studio here. We can pick at it, you know what I mean? Because the way, if you connect the dots, everybody says, man, Cruz knows a lot. He's sharp on the Fox desk, and he is. And he's a genius in terms of the fight game and how he can, make others just not look good on fight night. Mm-hmm. But who does Dominic credit everything to? Eric Del Fierro.
It's kind of like we're used to interviewing Luke Skywalker, but there's Yoda, and Yoda just walked in, right? I like interviewing him, and he's a great interview, but I'll tell you one thing. I'll be 100% honest. I feel so lazy when I talk to you because of all the things that you're able to do in a day. Everything you do, and then I think about how lazy
I
are you
actually left out full-time firefighter
Right?
as well.
Still
How
full-time.
do you do that?
Yeah, hopefully only 3 more years doing that.
Yeah?
Hopefully. That's one job I
You
do.
must have some really, really cool homies at the fire station that can juggle stuff or switch stuff.
That's actually what happens.
Is that what happens? Or do you write the schedule out?
With that too now.
Oh, you do?
That too. Well, I mean, I've been there 22 years, so I kind of have a little bit of pull. I'm not a captain. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to my truck company.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all fans and they're all supportive, and they kind of bend the rules a little bit here and there in my favor.
Nice. Well,
so we make it work.
Yeah. Well, he's right. You do wear a lot of hats. This week, I guess the main focus is Dominic Cruz. You're his head coach. You guys are defending. I think you're going for your 4th defense in the UFC.
I think so.
6th or 7th overall. Throwing in the UFC. WEC in there as well. And solid opponent in Cody Garbrandt, undefeated, hard hitter. So is this just business as usual at this point, or is there something to every puzzle you have to solve?
I think everybody brings their own weapons to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a specific puzzle. It's just making sure we show up with all our weapons, and that's literally what it comes down to. And it goes across the board to anybody fighting at the top 3. I tell all the guys where game plans do work a certain way, but we just have to be ready to fight wherever the fight goes, whether it's ground, stand up, whatever. Mm-hmm. Just be ready and take it there, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. These are friends of ours here that are hanging out, and we're media that deep down are fanboys. To us, it seems simple. Cody, you look at the statistics, you look at the film. He hits hard. That's kind of how he ends fights. Is it as simple as circle away from his power hand, wrestle more than you usually do, don't engage in firefights with that type of guy? Almost the same thing like we told Dillashaw against Lineker. It seems like their best chance is in the pocket swinging. Are we close, or are we way
I mean,
off?
to an extent, the problem with somebody like him, the only thing for us is when we fight somebody that's top 2, rank 1, you usually have a lot of study tape. He's fought the best of the best, and now he's fighting for a belt.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a comparison. With Cody, he hasn't really fought the best of the best. So we're expecting to not know what he's going to bring to the table.
Gotcha.
Yeah, everybody can sit here and say he's got knockout power. That's a known fact. What about the rest of his game?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to credit that he's the best wrestler we ever faced. He's the best submission guy we ever faced. He's the best striker we ever faced. And that's how we have to take it.
I think the one thing in your guys' favor is anytime you look at a fight, you could probably look at other opponents that Dominic's faced in the past and say, Cody's similar to that guy. On the other side, Dominic Cruz isn't really similar to anyone. It's hard when people get in there, they talk about the experience, they go, man, it took me a while to even figure out what was going on before I could start doing my work.
Yeah, and that's the key, and that's the key across on our side as well. Like I told Dom, I said it's going to take you. The goal is to always to adjust to your opponent within that first minute. Once you adjust them, then you're on rhythm, you're working, and you just go. And that applies to any level fight from beginners all the way up. It's how fast can we adjust to the opponent and go to work, and that's what we're looking to do with Dominic. Opponents have a hard time adjusting to him because he changes, and he's always setting you up. Whether he's working defensively or offensively, he's changing what he's doing there and keeping you guessing.
So I was watching the Countdown show yesterday, and there's old footage, newer footage, and what I wanted to ask you is part of the, I don't know if you want to call it a dance or the movement or the footwork or whatever, but whatever he's doing in there, is some of it even improvised at that moment, or are some of those steps already just been trained forever? Because it really looks like I just can't get a beat on what the heck the guy's doing. So I don't know if he's throwing in an extra, feint or that. And that's just him improvising on the fly.
Where it started and the misconception is everybody's, it's striking. No, it started from wrestling. It's from shifting his feet in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. That's
what wrestlers do. So the guys that can shoot off of both legs. And from him working that way is where we start to develop different striking angles for him to throw. And then he just evolved it. And then he just plays with it, takes different angles to different things. But it's all calculated. It's all meant. If you see him moving around just on rhythm, that's all he's doing is rhythm. But the way he's moving you is what's making the difference.
If you and him went to the club, is he a pretty good dancer too?
Or
is this just confined?
I actually don't think he's a good dancer.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. So it's just confined to the octagon in this case.
It's purpose specific, I would say.
I always pick up just these different things just from watching old footage, and a lot of other great fighters get talked about their range, their reach, but boy, that guy, man, falling away still has like a 2-3 inch advantage and can still clip you, whether he's going forward or falling back, leaning one way or the other. He always seems to be in range, and he's a master at that.
No, he's good at playing that range game, and he's actually one of the few that knows exactly how a check hook should be used.
Mm-hmm.
The check hook is a moving away punch, where people refer to it as check hook is you just move your leg out and hook. No, it's taking the opponent's weight against him, and I think Mayweather was one of the best ones at him. That's the way he knocked out what's the Irish kid's name? The little boxer Irish kid. I can't think.
Not
of
Hatton, right?
Hatton.
The English kid. Okay.
Hatton. Yeah, English. What did I say?
Irish.
Oh, yeah. There.
You got McGregor.
At least I was in Europe. I was in Europe. All right. Yes, Hatton. But yeah, he knocked him out with the check hook, meaning he moved him out of the way, hit him, and sent him through the ropes. And that's the way it's supposed to work.
And that's another thing goes when he's not stepping away, he's just using this quick shift, and he's finding himself still within the pocket. It was really, really good stuff studying that guy.
He's able to frustrate a lot of people with the game plan, his movements. But the one thing I wanted to bring up to you, and you probably have a lot to do with the strategy and all that, but what about what he does up here? Okay, because that's another way he's been able to take people out of their game. Is that something that he's always had since day one when he came to Alliance, or has he been able to kind of build that game as well?
He's became more cerebral through the years, for sure. 100% more cerebral. I think game plans now is me posing questions instead of me just saying, do this, this, and this. And I just kind of feed off of him as well. Just pose certain questions. What do you think about this? What do you see here? Well, I'll try this, this, and this, and then we just experiment with it and see if it works. But yeah, he's become way more cerebral now than ever before, and he's had to.
When's the last time you had to check him? Coaches do it all the time.
All the time.
All the time?
All the time. All the
this
time.
Week? Last week?
I actually just saw him today, so no, not yet.
No? Okay.
No. He's good. He's right now. You want him to be normal.
What'd you tell him that time that you checked him?
I know. I mean, it's just normal little arguments everybody has in the gym. It's try this, do that. Why does it work? Wait, try it again. And it's just for the simple purpose of seeing things. Sometimes, you won't win the whole round, but I'm happy with the 1 minute performance you did in there because I was looking for you to execute one thing, and sometimes they don't get that. And it's like, look, it doesn't matter if you win or lose this round in sparring. I just need you to execute this, and he did it. So it's just like I said, it's a work in progress. These guys are emotional, they're aggro, they're ready to go. So you just deal with it.
Football, obviously, right? Pro football?
No.
No, you don't.
I don't watch any
you
other
don't watch
sport
it?
whatsoever.
Well, you'll know some of the names I throw out.
Okay.
Brett Favre, quarterback the Packers for many years, and many thought, wow, he retired. Will we ever have another great one? Well, now they have Aaron Rodgers. He's pretty damn good too. Do you think you'll ever have another Dominic Cruz, or is that really almost once in a lifetime for a head coach?
No, I mean, I think it's specific. I mean, we got Phil Davis that's another champ there. We've developed some real good talent. I think everybody's has their own thing they bring to the table and their own thing that I mesh with that I enjoy, and it's just evolving for me. It's not just Dominic Cruz, but I mean, he's special in what he does. It's a different way of coaching him for sure.
Mm-hmm. Also, he told us the story of a fight that fell through, right? It was in Colorado, and then he took a call from you. This was back in what's the show in Tijuana called? Total
Combat.
Total Combat.
Yeah.
I almost said Total Impact. What's that?
That's
Pro
TNA,
wrestling.
right?
All
Something
right.
like that.
Total Combat, right? And that's kind of the story of how he was brought over from Tucson to San Diego. He had no one managing him, no one cornering him. Yeah. Can you believe that? I mean, just 10 years ago, this kid or young man who's one of the all-time greats was actually in that boat.
Yeah, I mean, that fight's out somewhere. When you guys see that fight, you'll kind of see what I saw. And it's probably one of the toughest fights he's had in his whole career. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty impressive. And it was just him being tough. It wasn't technical. It was them swinging for the fences, rock'em sock'em robots. I mean, he got dropped a couple times, got up, kept going, took the fight on 1 day notice. So just the whole thing was impressive, and that's why I invited him out.
Another thing I heard recently was McGregor, when he fought Diaz, I believe, him and Kavanaugh weren't that tight during that camp. They would just see each other at the gym, cross paths, train when they had to, but I guess they had, what do you call it, maybe just a long-running little fight or riff or whatever, tiff. How about you and Dom? Are you guys tight pretty much the whole year? Have you ever had stretches where, we're just not clicking?
There was about a year or two we didn't talk.
No shit?
Yeah. It was, or just had a real separation there for a while.
How recent was that?
It was a while. Maybe 4 years. 3 years, maybe. I don't
Around
know.
the time of the injury? The injury?
Maybe, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Can you expand on what brought that up?
No. I mean, it just it was a tough time for everybody. So it just, I'm super close. Maybe a year.
Okay. but you still cornered him, and you just weren't friends, or
no,
you literally weren't.
It was before a fight. I think it was before a fight. It was just different stuff that was going on.
Wow. So stuff could have went in another direction.
Sure.
Damn.
Well, but think about it, like with fathers and sons. Like
Right.
there's times where you have that stretch where you don't talk to your dad for a while or something, or your brother.
Yeah, or head coaches and quarterbacks sometimes.
I think you still have that love for the person, but
Sure.
just not clicking at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Are you now tighter than you were before the fight?
I think we're the same. I mean, we're tied. We've always been good friends. He's family to us. So no, we're close.
I don't think any. Holy shit!
Yeah, it's like a breakup,
Yeah, that's and so what happened? He just went to another gym and.
No, I don't even remember. I don't remember the specifics of what he was doing or what. Maybe we just kind of grew apart a little bit, and then we rekindled the relationship and got back together.
Who had to make the first move?
Probably him.
Yeah. Oh, is that you saying you're the stubborn papa?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember what actually happened. You're putting me on the spot, man.
I know. Well, it's interesting to me. I'm a fanboy, man. This, the elite are sometimes they have the most bizarre lifestyles, or they're unique individuals, and
that's what makes them the best.
And then like one day you'll pop in a 30 for 30 or the E60, and you'll sit there and you're like, holy shit, these guys never talked. Or I'll give you an example. This is going to age me.
Sure.
There used to be a show called Chips, and that was the first show that actually had great stunts on TV. Oh. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Eric Estrada.
I had the paunch haircut for like 2 years.
Yeah. And anyway.
They don't laugh at that.
Him and the co-star, I forget, the white dude, right? They actually never talked for, other than doing their script, they actually never talked for.
I didn't know that.
For a long time, but yet they were a partner, a duo, and I guess probably money. He makes this much per episode. I want that, but I think Ponch was the bigger star. I don't know, but you read that years later, and you're like, holy crap! So I've kind of started to dig into like stories like that. Just throw it out there and just see if you're in that same you're in the same boat as others.
Dominic will put out his story someday. You'll get his whole story someday.
Like a book?
Yeah, he's got an interesting story. He's got an interesting life, and it's just been a fun roller coaster for all of us.
Will you ever do a book?
Probably not.
No.
No.
You got
I didn't even
stories,
want to do this. I didn't
right?
even want to do this interview.
Why not?
It was just hard to get out of my shell. I like staying in my shell. I like staying in my.
Well, you
little
do it on the
private
phone. Is it
It's
a
easier.
public shell or?
I don't know what it is. Sometimes I'm okay with it. Sometimes I'm not. I
I think I'm batting 1,000 every time I've texted him over the years. He goes, "Sure, let's do it. We just have to work out the fire station." So I've never really noticed that.
Yeah, I mean, I know I know I have to do it. So,
but you know what? I admire that because a lot of coaches nowadays are like me. I'm the guy too, and hanging over the octagon and smiling, and I never really noticed that from you. You just, if somebody says, "Aren't you Dom's coach?" Yeah, but I don't really see you taking much credit.
It's taken me a while to get used to it, and understand that it's part of the business, part of operating, part of running a business is publicizing yourself and getting yourself out there. I've never been that way, so I'd had to grow. Even doing the Ultimate Fighter a couple years ago, it was a good shock there.
Check it out. I wasn't lying.
Well,
thought you were putting up a picture of me for a second.
No, that's my punch.
Yeah, you did, Gus.
2 years.
Yeah, you're right.
I think I had the same haircut though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Though I'll tell you this much: fighters are hit and miss. The other day, or yesterday, right? Marvin Vettori was here, an Italian fighter. Didn't really know much about the guy, but man, he was just glowing. He was charismatic. He was great. A lot of times, fighters come and lay an egg.
Yeah.
So I've started to see, taking a page from other sports, sometimes it's the coaches, it's the people behind the scenes that kind of pull the strings that are some of the most interesting interviews.
So am I laying an egg right now? Is that
no, not at all. We're doing great here. But aside from that, those people make a ton of money, and my hope one day is that everyone makes more money. But I really feel like the head coaches are undervalued in the sport somehow monetarily, because ask any fighter, oh man, if it wasn't for this guy and this game plan or this technique we learned or something, I may not have won the fight. And that's the difference between a lot of money.
Sure.
Before it used to be thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now it's millions. And so same thing we told Dwayne Bang Ludwig and Justin Buchholz, these bright minds. I hopefully they get more attention and hopefully they get paid better to match one day, hopefully, what they make up there.
Sure. I mean, but I think it has to do with the sport. We have a big stable of fighters, and we have to be able to pay all the coaches that we have in our staff. But if I had a Mayweather, it'd be different. If I had a Conor, it'd be different.
You want a reality check that somebody gave me one time? We're talking about checking people.
Sure.
I got checked one time. We had a fighter here who kind of laid an egg, and I was driving home and I was telling a buddy about it. I was like, man, it was such a rough interview. And he said, "Did you ever stop to think that maybe you laid the egg because you didn't pull the best out of him?" I started thinking about it,
true.
And I'd say about 50-50. He was right. There's times where maybe we lay an egg because we don't dive deep enough into the guest to pull that out. Like, we want to make Eric feel comfortable. You say you don't really like doing this. Yeah. But I would guarantee you by the end of the show, you're going to be laughing your ass off.
Well, I've gotten better. I've gotten more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But if, like when Leah calls, says, "Hey, you want to do 2 hours?" I don't know. She said, "Well, you kind of have to do it." Okay.
Oh, really? I like that. So she kind of made it happen.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would, honestly.
And it's just because of fight week. It wasn't even because I didn't want to do it. It's fight week, and
I looked at the schedule, and Ultimate Media Day was in the morning. I go, well, I don't think the coach is there right next to the fighter. So unless they're doing a morning workout, which we respect, obviously, then I think we might be good. So that's why I took a chance and rolled the dice.
And I usually don't show up till weigh-in day. And I just happen to have 2 days left on my vacation schedule for the year that I have to use. So I said, I'm going to go out early.
Do you enjoy Vegas?
No, not anymore.
Really?
It's still
played out after all these years.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, we don't do the same things at 47 that I did at 27. So
I'm 47 too, and I still do some of those things. So you don't drink and party and gamble, or?
I don't gamble. I drink. Yeah, parties depends on who's hosting the party or what we're doing.
I hear you though. As far as like waiting in line, no one's trying to do that anymore. But you'll still have
those days are gone.
What's your drink of choice? Let's learn more about Eric Del Fierro.
Yeah, let's learn more. I'm not sponsored by Jack, but I would say Jack. Any whiskey Jameson. That's usually it.
Okay.
And I actually
Jack with straight or
no? Usually, well, I could do both. I could do all the rocks, or I could do with Coke, with 7-Up, Sprite. As far
just to clarify, the drink Coke, right?
Yes.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
And beer, I just literally got into a beer thing the last 4 years.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's just the trendy thing to do. That I literally just got more and more into enjoying beer.
Yeah.
Are you, is Del Fierro, are you Mexican?
Yes.
Okay, so are you partial to the Mexican beers? Do you like those?
I don't even know. I don't have a favorite. I'd say no. I'd say Stella, Blue Moon is what I've been.
Okay.
And I hate IPAs.
Hate them?
I hate them.
I only like
San Diego's an IPA city.
Is it really?
Yeah. Well, it's
are
ridiculous.
people snobs
they
there?
Breweries
Oh,
there.
it's ridiculous. There's more breweries than anything else.
I keep it simple, man. Coronas, Pacificos. The Mexican beers do me well, and then I like Heineken. So
Yeah, I like Heineken.
I've never really gotten into the IPAs. I taste them, and I just maybe my tongue's swirling. Maybe I don't have the palate. I don't know what I'm tasting. I'm like, that's bullshit. Just you can have it back if you want, but only one. That was called Union Jack, right, Cuz?
Yeah, that's the one. You like the Firestone Union
Did
Jack.
I? Okay. Yeah.
I went to the Guinness plant in Ireland when the UFC went out
Did
there.
you?
Yeah.
How was
the
it?
worst drink ever. It was so horrible. And the guy serving it was like, "What's wrong with you?" But he mixed it with Sprite. So I don't want it.
Wow.
It's just it's such a strong.
How big was that place?
It was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was impressive. It was cool.
Did you know there's such thing as a Guinness pour too? Did they show you that?
No, I don't remember.
There is.
You got
to get the
John
sound-
Taffer show or whatever.
I think
was it?
so, right?
The
Yeah.
right amount of foam or something in it. Yeah.
You get certified in the way that you pour it, and yeah.
I think people take it too serious though. They drink it and go, oh, "That's a great pour." It's the same thing, isn't it?
I don't know, man. I mean, I like all beers. I'll drink whatever, but at the end of the day, we're all kind of fucked up. We all say the same stupid things, right? I mean, who cares?
I think
It's all about
so.
the good time that you're having.
Sure. It's the environment.
Yeah.
And another thing, you like to go to Glamis, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess away from that's what I'm trying to learn more. Away from the sport, what do you do to just decompress and unplug?
That's pretty much
Glamis?
it. Glamis. Anything. California has a weird thing where in the summer everybody goes to the river, which is the Colorado River, and in the winter everybody goes to the desert.
So you
I'm
a jet skier and all that?
I have jet ski. I have a boat. I do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
It's just weekend trips. It works.
What is it with what Cerrone's doing? He's jet skiing, and then is he doing something else?
No, he's a
wakeboarder?
wakeboarder.
Yeah.
Wakeboarder. Yeah, he's a wakeboarder.
What's the difference?
I think he's also the wakeboard is like
Yeah,
it looks
they're
like
getting towed and jumped, and
Yeah.
it's almost like surfing on a lake.
picture a
Oh, okay.
snowboard,
Yeah.
but
That's
I'm
right.
pulling
That's
you,
right. I was trying to.
But he
picture
also
it.
has like those. What are those pumps that you flip in the air like a jetpack? He does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that.
And then
either.
what about at Glamis? Is that's just like
Glamis is
the
like
sand dunes, right?
Yeah, Glamis is like something like 70 acres of sand. It's just a humongous sand lot.
All
And
right.
It's
So you
insane.
pull a trailer, right?
Pull
Because
a
you're so
trailer,
deep, you don't go back
camp
to
there.
a.
Yeah, you
okay.
camp there and you take your little buggy. In this case, it's a Polaris Razor, and just go everywhere.
How
and
fast
make
do
sure you
those
don't
things
kill
go?
yourself. They'll go fast. They'll hit about 100 miles per hour. If you,
Oh shit!
And then there's some incredible buggies out there too. They're just everybody's always measuring to see who's got bigger. And,
Yeah.
you get guys out there with $500,000 vehicles out there. So,
Get out of here!
Yeah, it's insane.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow, they soup it
it's
up
a
that
lifestyle.
much?
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's crazy.
And have you ever flipped one?
Yeah. Seth Baczynski flipped my Razor with me in it.
Really?
I literally don't let anybody drive it anymore. I let him drive it for about 3 minutes, and he flipped it with us in it.
How fast were you guys going?
About 30, 40, but it was on flat ground. I said, how do you flip on flat ground? What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
He
how
just
did that
turned- He
happen?
turned
You
too
just turned-
fast and just flipped us. But we're
Were
all
you-
okay.
Were you scared at the time, or is it pretty safe? Those
Well, I mean, we have a
vehicles?
roll cage. We have harnesses. It was not safe to flip a vehicle at all, but yeah, we were okay. We were okay. I was more concerned about everybody else in there. I went into my little firefighter mode and make sure everybody got out.
That's true.
Yeah.
And no brakes, nothing. You were good.
No, everything was cool.
I don't know too much about this, so I'm going to ask a lot
Sure.
of silly questions. But the first thing that comes to my mind, George, when I think sand, what kind of are there like scorpions, snakes, anything like that? When you're camping out there?
I need to know that
I'm
too.
sure there's scorpions out there. I'm sure there's scorpions.
Ooh.
Haven't seen any snakes.
No,
I'm sure there is. It's a desert.
You've never seen a snake in all the time you've been going.
Not out there.
Oh wow.
No.
Okay, so I think you're clear of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many.
Have you
vehicles.
seen a scorpion?
I've seen scorpions.
Yeesh.
Seen
There's
scorpions.
scorpions here in Vegas too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nasty out here.
I know. So it's just open cactuses or
No, it's not even. I mean, barely a cactus here and there. It's just sand. It's the weirdest
so
place.
you
on
really
Earth.
have to be bad. What Baczynski did was a joke. To
Yeah.
flip one over with
yeah, it's
on
just,
flats.
it's just a bad driver.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
in the hills, people mess themselves up pretty good. You see them getting life flighted all the time from there, but
what did he say when he flipped it? Because I'm trying to think
he
what would
actually
come to
said
mind.
nothing. He was just holding onto the steering wheel, just upside down.
He can't really my bad that, right? I mean, it's a little bit
I don't
past
think
that.
so. I don't think so.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
He said he literally said, "Why did you let me drive?" So it's my fault.
Can one ride them? Is there a motorcycle built for that too, or is the sand not
There's
allowed
motorcycles.
for that?
There's motorcycles out
So
there
there's
too.
motorcycles, and then there's the 4x, right?
Yeah.
What do we call this again?
It's a Razor.
Razor.
UTV.
And how much have you put into yours? Are you in the 500
No,
grand?
hell, no. Maybe. Well, my wife's here. I can't say, but maybe. It's not cheap. It's not, yeah.
Write down a number. I won't show it to her.
No, I can't.
No?
I can't.
All right. I'm going to write down a number, and then you can nod.
No. Way below that. Way below that.
How about that one?
Yeah, about that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me turn the page there in case you see. That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's
so
fun.
yeah, that's you're probably so far out your phone doesn't even work, right? You
Yes,
literally
that's a good
just,
thing about it.
You don't talk strategies or fighters pulling out.
Well, it's hard to run away from that because there's fans everywhere you go, and everybody's going to tell you, hey, Coach Eric.
Oh, is your popularity soared so much that you're recognizing Glamis too?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I think
nice.
anywhere. I think pretty much anywhere you run into fans. It's a humongous sport now. It's amazing.
Do they give you advice?
Everybody
You should have
does.
told them to do
Everybody
this.
does.
Really?
Everybody does.
Are you playful with it, or do you like?
Yeah,
Because a
I
lot
mean,
of fighters get pissed on social media,
nah.
like some fan came up to me and said this, and
No, no. It's part of the game now. I mean, I remember the first time I was getting on a plane coming back from Australia, and somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, you should have done this, this, this." Yeah, thanks. Just the
has
fact that
anyone
just-
ever told you good advice where you said that's not a bad point?
No.
No.
No. I mean, it's usually fan just emotional perspective, not a technical coach to coach, or it was usually
Is this fun week or stressful week for you?
work.
Work.
Yeah. It's not stressful. Not stressful.
Mhm.
It's emotional. I kind of ride the roller coaster with the athlete. So they're stressed. I'm stressed. They're angry. I'm angry. It's a weird relationship.
Also, I was gonna ask, is it different for every fighter?
No, not with me.
No.
I like I said, the reason I don't do interviews, the reason I don't do a lot the week of is because I'm there for them, and I'm kind of riding the emotional roller coaster sometimes with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I like the process. It makes me more connected to them. It makes me feel what they're feeling in a sense. It sounds crazy, but the sport is crazy.
Here's the stuff that may turn into a headline or sound bites. What do you think of Rousey avoiding media? Like, is that something you would wish for your fighter?
Well, I just tried to avoid you guys this morning, so.
Well, yeah. But
so
see,
you're asking the wrong
Dom's really good at it,
Yeah,
and
no, he's gotten
I
better.
think that's like actually going to make him money down the road.
For
just
sure,
the
for sure.
Trash talk. Or whatever
It's
you wanna call it.
it's part of their business. It's part of their contract. It's part of what they are supposed to do. This is it's entertainment. You're supposed to sell it, and Dom's gotten better at it. I mean, I remember when we first in the WC, he had a hard time with it, and because you're bouncing around a lot of ideas in your head where you should be doing, or I should be cutting weight, maybe training, maybe listen, you have media scheduled to this, and this, get it over with. Rhonda's got her reasons why she wants to do it. Maybe she just feels a different type of focus without it, or maybe she just wants to see if it's different this time for her. But she's amazing. She's just amazing. I'm a huge fan.
Speaking of women's MMA practitioners, your team's starting to load up now on the female.
Yeah, it's female heavy.
Female athletes down at Alliance. Just in Dominic's second embedded, you could see him with, I think that was Beck and Jessica.
Yeah.
But I know Kat has moved to San Diego. So how big is that team now? And are you happy with adding more females? Is it more fun to coach females? Males, is it the same?
I think females are easier.
Really?
I think they might be easier to coach.
And why is that?
I think they're more emotionally or more connected to their emotions.
Okay.
And they're able to communicate more. Hey, I'm scared. Hey, I'm nervous.
Really?
Guys won't come out. Some of the best athletes, to me, have done better by communicating. Hey, man, I feel this. I feel this. I have doubt here. I have that doubt. And we sit down, address it, try to approach it a certain way and try to figure out what's causing it. Where women usually don't have that machismo that keeps them from connecting their emotions to their coaches or training partners or whatever it is they might need help with.
Mm-hmm. Here's one question or one segment, whatever we want to call it, that usually livens up the mood. I always ask this of an in-studio guest. Can you share a good street fight story with us?
You can go back as far as you need to.
Somebody stole your lunch in the 3rd grade, or
you got to remember.
Revolucion in Tijuana.
How did you know that?
The gas slam.
I literally had.
Because I'm a SoCaler too. We're from Santa Ana in
Yeah.
Orange County.
Well, I was
so occasionally we dip down.
I was in the Navy from 91 through 93.
Okay.
There. So from 91 to about 97, I did a lot of Tijuana bar fights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it just was crazy back then.
So what happened? Share one with us. What's the one that really cracks you up? Like, I can't believe this happened.
No, what really, I got into a fight with somebody that wasn't even involved, that I wasn't supposed to get into a fight with. What happened is we're walking.
But set it up now, all right? We want to hear a good story.
It's the weirdest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what nightclub it was, but there was a Chola. You know what a Chola is?
Yeah.
Okay. You might want to emphasize
I've
what a Chola
dated a
is.
couple.
Okay,
No, I'm just kidding.
but the listeners might not know what that is.
A Chola,
right,
I guess,
so
would be what, God, how do you really define a Chola?
Think of
low class.
well, those bangs have to be hairsprayed pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hairspray.
So there's a lot of hairspray. There's a lot of makeup. The makeup's going to run a little bit past the eyes.
A lot of hair.
Right.
Leah,
Yeah, a lot of
Leah
hair.
used to be a chola back in San Jose.
Oh, you know what? I'll just pull up a picture.
Yeah, pull up a pic and then you'll show us. Pull up Maria Conchita Alonso from the movie Colors.
Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
well,
Right?
that's an old one.
School.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
an
have
old
to go
one.
old school, man. I don't keep up with Austin Powers and
See,
all that.
you know, at the nightclub, you kind of make a circle around the bar, just
Right.
walk around. And
See who's who,
yeah,
who's with
you
who,
know,
and all
there's,
that.
there's a girl in front of me. I don't know her.
All right, here's what we're looking at.
Yeah, kind of like
I
that.
mean, there's a couple
Kind of
here and
like
there.
that. Humongous hair, yeah.
Is that Donald Trump?
So,
Yeah, so one of
Alright.
these. Yeah, okay.
So one of them. So you're in Tijuana and you don't know the name of the club.
no.
All right.
I don't. Maybe I do. I don't know. Anyway, I am drinking a drink. The girl's in front of me. I see a hand come over and light her hair on fire.
Whoa!
So I don't know if you ever seen how fast hair lights on fire.
No.
She's got humongous
Well,
hair.
I take it
She's
back.
got a lot of
tons
hairspray.
of, tons of the old school hairspray with the alcohol in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally turned into a fireball. It was
Wow.
humongous. I I patted her out right away.
Oh, you weren't a firefighter yet, right?
Yeah, I was actually. It was number 94, 95. So
Okay.
So I just patted her out, and I just turned around and started swinging at the guy behind me. I don't even know if that's the guy that lit their hair on fire. It was the craziest thing I ever saw down there.
He lit her up. You lit him up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the craziest thing ever. It was just crazy.
Uh-huh.
But that was probably the craziest.
Did it turn out he was the guy, or
I don't
did
even
you
know.
ever-
I was kind of drunk at the same time, so it was.
So he may have just been an innocent
yeah, he
bystander
might have
that
been. But
got lit
it
up.
just freaked me out because literally the fireball was this big. It was the craziest thing I
Wow.
ever saw. And she was okay, but she had no hair. After
But
that.
clearly somebody tried to light her fire.
Oh yeah,
It's not
no,
like it was a cigarette or
yeah,
nothing. like-
she made somebody angry, or maybe just.
Wow, that's fucking cruel, man.
No, it's crazy.
fuck does that?
It's Tijuana,
Oh, yeah.
Mexico. It
If
was
you
the
think
cra-
about it, like I'm sitting here laughing. Well, that's a great story, but like diving into that, just
Yeah, it was the
lighting a
craziest
girl's
thing.
hair on fire.
It was
Wow.
insane. It was,
Yeah, it's a good thing you were there because I'm not sure. There's a lot of people that wouldn't have done this, right?
If you didn't do all that, how quick before it gets to the scalp? and-
Probably a minute.
Wow.
It was gone. It was gone. Like it was literally. I caught it right then and there, but it was completely gone.
If you're not there, she really could have been.
Yeah,
different,
hair burns
different.
super quick to begin with. And
What-
God knows how much hairspray she had.
What did she say to you?
I didn't even talk to her because
Hey.
I was fighting this guy, and I don't even know if he lit her hair on fire.
Wow.
This guy's a superhero. He didn't even
That was
stick around
great.
for
I just didn't
man.
want my hair lit
Let
on
me tell
fire
you
too.
something. We've been doing this show for 9.5 years. We've had many in studio guests. We've probably heard about 300, 500 street fight stories.
Maybe
That's
more.
pretty damn unique.
That's in the top
told-
10.
Like we've kind of heard it all: samurai swords and guns and you name it, baseball bats, hooligans, it's soccer games. But
Yeah.
God, that caught me off guard.
That was a crazy one. It was a memorable
Man,
one.
Yeah. We may have to get another one from him because that was too good. He, you know, when I said when he mentioned that there's been others, we may have to get one. But let's get this commercial out of the way. We do have to talk to one of our guests who's fighting at UFC 207. His name is Louis Smolka. We'll chat a few minutes with him. Then we'll finish up with the coach, Eric Del Fierro, who's here in studio with us. He will be the head coach for Dominic Cruz as Dominic Cruz defends his bantamweight world title, UFC bantamweight world title, this Friday. Not Saturday. Friday, it is a pay-per-view, and he'll be defending it against Cody Garbrandt. That is on the Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes card. Sorry, I should be saying the Amanda Nunes, Ronda Rousey card. All right, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We'll be right back after this break. Yeah, because if somebody listens, that's a unique story.
They're the OGs of MMA radio. Their mantles are littered with awards. Their guest lists are so grand that I can't do it. This is ridiculous. Here they are, Goes and George. Get real.
You get real, dog. We're the truth, man. I don't know what's wrong with Rock, always pissing on us like that. All right. We have Eric Del Fierro in studio with us, and we're having a good time here, man. The coach is going to be coaching Dominic Cruz on Friday. This will be another title defense for Dominic Cruz. He's defended already a few times prior to gaining the belt back from TJ Dillashaw, and then he defended recently against Uriah Faber, and now Cody Garbrandt, yet another Team Alpha Male member, is stacked against the Alliance team. It's Alpha Male versus Dom, it seems like, right?
Yeah,
you guys don't have some backup? You don't have another bantamweight or featherweight?
Well, no, we got plenty of guys.
Yeah, you need to throw them in the mix a little bit, right?
I mean, it's just hard to get guys in the UFC right now. They're
especially the lighter weight classes.
Yeah.
They kind of shut down the
these
signings. Listen, Ronda Rousey makes her long-anticipated return to the octagon when she takes on women's bantamweight champion Amanda Nunes at UFC 207 in Las Vegas, and SiriusXM Rush has you covered. Get an in-depth preview of the entire card starting Friday night at 5 Eastern with SiriusXM's UFC 207 pre-fight live. Then stay locked on SiriusXM Rush 93 after the main event for the full post-fight reaction and analysis exclusively on your home for combat sports and entertainment. SiriusXM Rush, Channel 93, and on your phone with the SiriusXM app. Louis Smolka is our guest. He will be fighting on said card. UFC 207, he'll be battling Ray Borg. He joins us now on MMAjunkie Radio. What's up, Louis? How you doing?
What's up, guys?
Man, welcome back to MMAjunkie Radio. You're on with George and Goes. We also have the head coach from Alliance MMA, Eric Del Fierro, in studio with us. Cannot wait for UFC 207, and of course your fight is one of the ones that a lot of people are looking forward to. You and Ray Borg, both top-ranked fighters in that flyweight division. Tell me something, though, Louis. This heavy activity schedule, I mean, there's 78 days, I believe, between the Win fight and the Marino fight, and 91 days between Marino and Borg. That's just your style? You're liking that type of pace?
I'm having fun with it. I think I'm in season right now, you know. I'm feeling good. I'm in a good pace. My weight's good, you know. I'm happy.
Was the so I interpret it as this. When you beat Win, you just thought, man, I want to keep rolling. I'm healthy. But then when you came up short against Marino, I interpreted it as, oh, God, I got to get this taste out of my mouth. I got to get back in the win column. Am I close or?
Well, I mean, it's just about getting focused and stuff, you know. And I wanted to, you know, get back in there and, you know, like, just, I want to keep competing, you know, just keep getting experience.
Mm-hmm. Louis Smolka, our guest here on MMAjunkie Radio. He fights Ray Borg on Friday night. They're the opening bout at UFC 207, the main card. It's a pay-per-view, and again, Friday night, cannot stress that enough. Not Saturday, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. 11-2 is Louis Smolka. Ray Borg comes in at 9-2.
Yeah, Louis, you've had a lot of success in your career. This little hiccup here, it wasn't something where you needed to go back to your camp and kind of reinvent the wheel, right? It was just kind of maybe tightening some screws.
Yeah, I was just adding in a couple little things. Like, I didn't change up everything. I just, like, you know, I just tried to research a little bit better. You know, I haven't really watched my guys fight up until this last one. I haven't really, like, had any input in my game plan. I just kind of did what my coaches thought. So I took a little bit more of an active role in the game plan this time.
Was it night and day different from Moreno to Borg?
What do you mean?
Was it a lot different, the two camps that you had? Like, were there a lot of changes made?
Well, like, I mean, the Moreno camp, I freaking planned for Pettis the entire time. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
I was
true.
over here trying to get ready for Pettis. And, like, so, like, I went from planning for, like, a Taekwondo point style striker to getting ready for a grappler, but I didn't really know that. I thought the guy was a boxer and stuff. But this fight, I guess I'm getting ready for, like, a pretty well-rounded fighter, lots of scrambles and stuff. So, I mean...
Is the book pretty...
I don't want to say it.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Well,
Yeah, well, I don't want to say... it was entirely different, but I mean, there were a few changes. But like like with flyweights, everyone's pretty well rounded, and fights tend to go kind of everywhere.
Is the book closed on Sergio Pettis? Because a lot of people feel like there's unfinished business there.
I don't care either way. I mean, I really honestly, I don't want to have to wait for him to may or may not show up. But I mean, we'll see what happens down the road. I'm not super one way or the other.
Is the book closed on Brandon Moreno? Do you feel like that's one you have to get back, regardless of what happens on Saturday?
I mean, I'm not gonna be a poor sport and cry about it and just constantly hound the kid for a rematch. I mean, he came in and he did what he was supposed to do. He beat me. Props to him. And I don't want to be a poor sport about it. I don't want to constantly be over here screaming at the kid to give me a rematch, and ruining his day. You know what I mean? If we end up fighting again, I'll take it. I'll take it pretty quickly, to be honest. But I mean, I don't want to be a poor sport about it.
Lewis, that's one of the most mature responses I've ever heard on the show.
Yeah.
Honestly, props to you, man. Because you know what? That's you being that mentally strong and stable. And it's great to be emotional, but the way you read it, the way you read that fight, you're not taking any shine away from the other fighter, and you're just going to progress. And that's the best way to do it. You're not obsessing over it. So, man, kudos to you, honestly. And I know you're a young dude in the sport, but seriously, man, that I liked everything you said about that. He's like, yeah, just shut up. All right. All right, listen, man, I know it's fight week. We'll keep it short. It's always great to have you on the show. Thanks for fitting us in last minute. Good luck on Friday against Ray Borg.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care. Don't you agree, Coach, that mindset is pretty important, to have something like that and not – I mean, I guess they say that –
How short notice was that fight when they switched out Brandon Moreno?
I think it was 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it was with
Moreno's tough. He trains with us every now and then. He's a good kid.
He is a tough kid.
He's a tough kid. And usually our game plans don't start till about 4 weeks for the fight because people fall out.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, your game plan should revolve to what you bring to the table, not what the opponent brings to the table. Because you just have to be ready for everything.
To a lot of fighters who have dropped the fight, when they get to the gym, does it take a while for them to erase it, and just start focusing on just their next fight, whoever it may be? They're still dwelling, and
I guess it depends on the outcome of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get these weird decisions, or you get finished. I guess it all just depends what went wrong.
Yeah.
And if there's something that can be fixed, or if sometimes we just got outclassed. The guy was just better than us. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. We're not ready there. We'll be ready in a couple of years.
Let's talk to Chris from Fresno. He's been on hold for a while. Good caller. What's up, Chris? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How you guys doing?
Good, brother.
Oh, good. You're supposed to bring me in. It's all good, though. Hey, I was listening to you guys' episode yesterday. And I listen a day behind because that's one of the reasons. That's one of the way it works out for me. But are you guys talking about around the pay-per-view numbers possibly being lower? Well, I have a couple of reasons why I don't, and why I think, in fact, it'll be her highest pay-per-view.
All right, Chris, slow down. You're out of breath, man. what was happening there?
I think he said
Is
we
he
were talking
climbing a hill or what?
about Ronda, her pay-per-view numbers maybe plummeting a little bit because of...
All right, what's your prediction?
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I'm out of breath. I'm at work right now. I got to sneak off the call. Okay, check it out. The argument is usually who's the highest pay-per-view star in the UFC. Is it Ronda? Is it Conor? I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's definitely Ronda Rousey, even still. Now, the things that separate these two, one, take a look at their past cards. Every Conor card is always loaded with excellent fights. The co-main event, the featured bout, okay? Ronda doesn't necessarily get that, but if you take a look at this card, it is super stacked. Even with the loss of, the other fight, it is a super stacked card. Probably one of the most exciting Ronda Rousey cards, And Conor might be the as far as the people who are, really engaged in UFC, MMA, Conor might be the guy. But worldwide, let's not forget, Ronda Rousey's known, through many different levels of people throughout the world. She's back after over a year being out. It's the return of her. She's on her way back to get the bout. Media or not, everyone's watching this fight. I'm tuning in, and I'm going to say you guys are pretty wrong about, 10%, 50% falling off, as far as the pay-per-view numbers in yesterday's episode. This is going to be our highest pay-per-view. If not, I won't call for a month, guys. You guys have a good one.
All right. See you, Chris.
Wait, is that a reward or?
I don't know. I think we win either way. But all right. So, if you to catch you up, Eric, we've been predicting that Ronda, with her having this media blackout or whatever, what are her pay-per-view numbers going to be? So we said, let's just pretend she averages 1 million. Will it be in the 750 range, in the 500,000? Do you have a prediction? You think this is going to be low selling because of her strategy?
No.
Or is there something to this mystique of not doing anything?
Well, no, I mean, I can speak as a fan. I want to watch. I want to see her. I think there's a lot of people that want to see if she adjusts or not. And even, fans of the sport, she was so dominant that Holly Holmes, for lack of a better term, destroyed her.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're wondering, does she come back? I mean, Amanda's no joke, I would tune in if they didn't advertise.
Who do you think wins?
I hate predictions, man. I hate
really?
predictions.
Are you friends with both coaches?
Yes.
Okay.
But I want Ronda. I'm just such a fan of her and what she's done for the sport and everything. And that's just my fanboy side of it, saying, you know what? Mm-hmm. She's just amazing. She's an amazing. How
about this? Without telling us who you think is going to win, tell us how each girl can win. What do you think they should do?
It's pretty plain and simple. It's Ronda's got to grab
Ronda
her
clinch, throw her down.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, she's made improvements, but Amanda's powerful girl.
At close quarters. I mean, that was nice what she put Betch down with.
Yeah.
And then how did she get Alexis? Was it a knee?
She threw her.
No, but before that,
body knee.
Yeah, exactly. And Sarah McMahon too. So close quarters, there's something to that.
Mean. She's just.
But with space, Amanda Nunes looks like she's got a certain style. So I know Holly's is more of a boxing style, but she also learned to kickbox as well.
Sure.
But I think with the spacing, that's not good for Ronda.
The footwork gave her trouble.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Fighting off the ring
the
gave her trouble.
movement, I think, really threw Ronda off, and just her using the distance.
Yeah.
Everything that Holly used to win that fight are just not really things that Amanda does.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
What she does are things that Ronda's been able to capitalize on her other opponents. That's why I picked Ronda.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Oh, you went with Ronda in the end?
I
went with Amanda.
Amanda's
because I think there's intangibles that we don't know of, and that's first of all, her psyche, her mental psyche. Like, if she's not willing to do media and listen to stuff, or she wants to know fan interaction, like, how quick can she be thrown off the minute something doesn't work? If she goes in for a takedown and it misses, like, oh, my God, is the world, is the room closing in on her?
That happens to all of us, right?
You remember how intense she was in Strike 4 days, Ronda? Remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
She's just a competitor, man.
Yeah.
And when she's in, she's in. Now the question is, does her game change because she's indestructible? She got knocked out. Does she have a fear strike? Before she had no fear. That's why she was able to close the distance. You hit me. I'm still grabbing you, throwing you.
I think that's what happened to Mike Tyson.
Yeah, 100%.
But Mike Tyson was saying, he was actually advising, it was part of the countdown, I think, we all lose, and he was encouraging her to deal with the loss. Mm-hmm. Her on Ellen, she said she still considers herself undefeated. And I'm thinking, why? Why does she consider that? Like, I don't understand that. She's clearly not. And why try and convince yourself of that? She could still be the greatest fighter ever. She could still be a world champion again. But there's nothing that's going to erase that loss. I mean, that did happen. So that to me is like fantasy land type stuff, And I don't know. That's why I look at all that and I'm thinking, because I always think when we talk about who do you think's going to win, we look at it, us Vegas guys, as who's going to make you money. Yeah. So I always think of, can I put my money on a fighter that has these intangibles, certain intangibles missing? Man, I just can't. So I think I'd rather ride with the dog, honestly. I feel like the dog is focused, man. Like the underdog, by the way.
Yeah.
Is focused. I mean, she throttled Misha, and then her run leading up to that, she's impressed. What scares me is the cardio, but she's adjusted. She came to Vegas early. She said the desert air makes her sick, allergies, so she adjusted to that. I think her confidence is an all-time high.
She said that makes her sick?
Yeah, she says she has to adjust to that.
Asthma or something?
I don't know. She didn't.
That's why we don't work out the Vegas area.
Yeah, it's not good.
And we're at 2,500 feet, so we're halfway to.
Yeah, but that's not bad.
Tomorrow. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say cardio is an issue, but could one also say cardio was an issue with Ronda too in the Holly Holm fight?
Possibly.
I mean,
I would say no.
When you take damage,
I'll say what he said. She could have cut her off. She could have. Holly was moving, man. Holly was rough.
She just looked lost.
Yeah, man.
There was no plan B.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, when you take damage too, that energy meter just drops.
Yeah.
All right, 866-522-2846. Louis Smolka out of the way. We will have one other guest today. It's Alex Garcia. The coaches decided to stay an extra 30 minutes. So if you have any questions for him, holler at us. I'll go back to Facebook and catch us up on any comments and questions that come through there. Same with YouTube. But Goes, quick reaction on Josh Barnett, potentially flagged for potential doping violations.
This is a lot now, right? If you're the UFC, I would imagine at this point in his career, 2 years is a long time, right? And
they have their process. They can't do anything till all facts come together. But
I think it's the last we've seen of Josh Barnett in the UFC.
In summary, I think
maybe later on in life we see him pop up at like a show we're about to see, a Ryzen or something like that.
Do they say what it was flagged for? No, they don't say.
Let me
I don't
look
think
it
so.
up. I don't
Say
think
for a
they
while,
disclose that.
Do they ever? I don't even know.
No. Usually we just hear that they're flagged for potential doping violation, and then little by little the info trickles out. But the instant reaction from many is just like, here we go again.
Yeah.
But more than anything, now him being in his high 30s, that just probably is the end of the UFC run. I don't think it's the end of his career. I think there's shows like Ryzen for them.
That's what's a shame for me is Josh has done so much for the sport and accomplished so many things that it sucks that a lot of people are going to remember him for this and not what he's been able to accomplish.
No doubt. All right, folks. First hour in the books. We still got another hour to go. And again, the coach will stay here for half of that second hour. So join us at 866-522-2846. Move on over to Facebook.com/official MMA Junkie if you want to hear the second hour, or YouTube.com/MMA Junkie video. Also, let you know, you soccer fans. Am I even making sense right now? Tottenham Hotspur is trying to keep up pace with the top four in the English Premier League, but they need a win at Southampton to help the cause. Don't miss Premier League action today at 2:30 p.m. Check that Eastern on SiriusXM FC 85. Following us will be Busted Open. They'll be talking pro wrestling, reacting to last night's SmackDown. Join Doug Marvin and Dave LaGreca. It is a call-in show, so check them out. All right, folks, we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Keep on the run. I'm gonna have me some fun because me.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word, life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The afterworld.
This song's taking us all back somewhere, and I want to know where you're at right now.
I was thinking, why aren't you guys playing George Michael? That's what I was thinking.
We did that on Monday.
We did on Monday.
Where were you at, George?
Well, I'm in high school, for sure.
Which of the 5 years?
Yeah, best 5 years of my life. One thing I remember was I took a girl on a date. It was one of the ones that I took hours days to plan it. And yeah, because I wanted it all to go good. And so Prince had this club in L.A. I forget what it was called, but he occasionally would do long sets. And so I took a girl to the Cirque show on the Santa Monica Pier. And so we had a nice dinner. I just remember being nervous and went on like the Ferris wheel, the roller coaster, I don't remember. And then the Cirque show. And then we went back there, and I just remember, man, this would be perfect if he came out. We were there for a while. It was just a club. Left. And then I remember finding out that he came in like at 4:30 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And went till like 8:30 a.m. Like, damn, and we had just left.
That's high school, though.
Huh? No. This was like...
You can't stay out that late.
Just past high school, college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I was on the floor playing with G.I. Joes.
Really?
Yeah.
How about you, Eric? You have a Prince memory? Did you ever catch him in concert?
No.
Is it a regret of yours?
Yeah, it is a regret.
So you said you're 47, right?
I'm 47.
So I'm 47 too.
I graduated in 89.
I always felt like he was gonna be around.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I'll catch him next time. Next thing you know, he fucking dies. And I'm like, God damn, because I heard he's one of the best shows ever.
Yeah.
Towards the end, though, because of his hips, and he always wore the high heels, I guess he put on so much. Yeah, he couldn't move. So I don't know that we would have got the authentic Prince show.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Prince in Asics? I don't care.
No, but he's like on the piano, and I don't think he was, the crazy hair. Whatever, yeah. All right, good stuff, Danny. All right, we're going to do one more interview. This fighter is fighting also on the UFC 207 card, and he's got Mike Pyle, local guy here in Vegas, Mike Pyle. Alex Garcia is traveling from Montreal to face Mike Pyle. This is a good fight, man. Two solid welterweights. That division, I'm telling you, is so deep. You can grab the number 82 ranked fighter and the 44th ranked fighter and match them against the top 10. It's still going to be a great fight. I'm not saying that that's what Alex is. Alex is definitely a top 20 guy, but it's just a deep division. I always look forward to the fights at 170. All right, joining us now is Alex Garcia. How you doing, Alex? ¿Todo bien?
Good. Sí, I'm good. You guys, how are you?
Bien, compa. Hey, your English is getting better.
Yeah, I'm trying, working my ass for every day to.
Do you just watch soap operas and TV, or do you actually take classes?
I take classes.
Oh, yeah?
Take classes.
Oh, how much do you commit per week? Like, is it an hour a week session?
Well, depends. When I'm competing, I take I take less, but like out of competition, like I do like 2 hours a week, 3 hours a week.
Dude, that's dedication.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Good job, Alex. I'm really proud of you. Look at Jose Aldo. Doesn't even speak one word. He still says, obrigado. He won't even say thank you, man.
Alex's English is better than our Spanish.
No, not mine.
Well, mine. You got me.
Mi español es bueno, Alex. No sé si has llegado a ese nivel todavía.
Nomás en el restaurante.
Bueno, mira, I'm sorry. Listen, you got Mike Pyle. This guy has seen it all. This guy, he's a local guy here in Las Vegas, tough guy. There's not going to be no intimidation. There's nothing that he hasn't seen. But the one thing you do pack is that power. Do you feel like do you like being categorized as a power puncher, or do you feel like you've rounded your game and there's a lot more tools that people just overlook?
Yes, I feel like I like when people tell me I'm a power punch. But yes, I have changed a lot in my games, and I'm a well-rounded guy. If it wants me as a power punch only, it's good for them. But I'm a complete fighter. I have tools in every area.
What about when you hear, oh, man, the guy's built like a brick. He's jacked. He's muscular. But the flip side is the gas tank doesn't go as long for those type of body builds. You take offense to that? Is there truth to that? The bigger guys maybe sometimes don't have the energy meters go as far as some of the other guys.
I can speak for myself. I don't lift any weight at all. I'm just being gifted to have this body I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's like up and down because like I need a lot of more air to survive and like a normal body because I have a lot of muscle. But I had that to be able to compete at the same level without getting tired.
Damn, this guy doesn't lift at all.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Are you bullshitting? Are you really? Because you look pretty strong, man.
Yeah, I don't lift weight. I do circle training and I do mixed martial art pretty much, but I don't lift weight. It look like I do, but I don't. I'm just being gifted.
Alex
Garcia
here, our guest. He'll be fighting Mike Pyle on Friday, UFC 207.
Alex, a lot of fighters say that their intensity changes when they get to Las Vegas. Their game face changes. Some people, it's the week of the fight. It's when their hands are getting wrapped, the weigh-ins. But for you, when I follow you on social media, it seems like you're just intense the entire camp. Is that the case, or is there a switch for you?
No, I'm always in the entire camp. I'm always in training camp. Nothing's changed for me. For me, just another day. Now, so I don't try to change anything different. I just do what I do, you know, and that's it.
What would you say separates your camp, your coaches, from all the other camps? What makes them unique?
We have our back. We have our back each other, and we're like just not a training partner of your business. We're like family, so that I think that makes the difference. You know, we understand each other, we talk to each other, and like we treat each other like a family.
All right. Well, listen, Alex, we were going to keep it short here on Fight Week. Let me close with this. The UFC in the Dominican Republic. It's got to happen, man. There's a lot of sports history in the Dominican Republic. Baseball, boxing, probably not bobsledding, but, you know, there really is a lot of great athletes that have come out of the Dominican Republic. What's the update on that? You got Max Holloway. He wants them to go to Hawaii. We got guys like Pettis and Alvarez. They're talking about Puerto Rico. How about you? Have you heard anything with the Dominican Republic and the UFC going there?
I haven't heard anything really about the UFC going there, but I would love, you know, they come there and see the athletes that are coming out of my country right now. Mm-hmm. And I think, like I said it before, I think a good idea for this happen between Puerto Ricos and Dominica. They should have an ultimate fighter, you know, Puerto Rican against Dominican, and that will call a lot of attention in the Latin community because
I'm in, man.
Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, they have like a little thing going, you know. They like each other, but they don't like each other. This kind of stuff. And I think Ultimate Fighter, between the two countries, it will make a statement on the people understand the people to see the athlete from the Dominican and Puerto Rico as well.
Well, Alex, I'll tell you what. Whoever wins, may the best man win. But if you do get the W on Friday, maybe a good opportunity for you to throw that out is in your post-fight speech. That's when people are listening, man.
Yeah. I'm working my doing my best, and also working for see if they can one day bring the UFC down there.
Yeah.
As like my fight, and then after eventually do an event.
You saw what happened when they went to Brazil. It blew up. When they went to Mexico, it blew up. I heard Russia is the next frontier for them. But I'm telling you, man, the Caribbean has great athletes. Dominican Republic's proved it over and over. There's some great athletes there. I'd love to see a UFC there.
Yeah, and the Caribbean is not that far as Russia. So it's closer for people to go travel.
And it's warmer, too.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
It's warmer, too, yeah.
All right. Well, listen, man, thanks again for the time. It's great catching up with you, all right? Cuídate, brother.
Guys.
All right, we'll see you.
Okay, ciao.
What's your favorite division, Coach?
Favorite division?
Yeah. When you're not coaching, you're just watching. You like the 45s, the heavies, the 70s?
You know, I'm a fan of that Conor McGregor show, man.
So you like the 45s?
Yeah.
Now he's the 55.
The 55.
Yeah.
That Conor McGregor show's it's something else, man.
Yeah, he is something
else, man. I've had the pleasure of meeting him through the beginning of his career to where he's now, and it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense.
Has he been to your gym?
No.
No? Okay.
No,
Where did you cross paths?
Just fights, and I mean, I was at the Ireland fight, and he's just what he does is amazing. With the way that country follows him is amazing.
Let me ask you something too. Yesterday we were talking about Fighter of the Year. Take off the Cruz hat for a second. If he wins, he'll be 3-0. He was in the conversation. It was Cruz, Amanda. If she wins, she'll be 3-0. Conor 2-1, but he did go up in weight class and win a title. He also avenged his only loss.
Yeah.
Cerrone went 4-0. Bisping went 3-0 and captured a world title. Miocic went 3-0 and captured a world title. That's what we narrowed it down to, right, guys?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, what do you think? Who are the fighters of the year?
When he wins. When he wins. I like Stipe.
Stipe.
I like Stipe.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's who I pitched. I think I may have convinced Goes
swayed
too.
me, yeah. I had Bisping, but I think you had a good case for
Bisping.
Yeah.
And those are guys I have personal relations with. They're both incredible people.
Miocic went 3-0. All three were finishes in the first round. And
He's quiet. He's quiet.
He beat Overeem, who's a Strikeforce. Exactly.
Yeah.
He beat Overeem, who's a former Strikeforce champ, K1 World Grand Prix champ, former Dream champ. He beat Arlovsky, former UFC champ, and he beat Verdum, who was the champ when he beat him.
And he's still a fireman.
One of them was in a stadium down in Brazil. You know, I mean, that's he crossed a lot of check marks. Yeah. So you're Stipe.
Stipe. Stipe. He's a fireman, man. I got to stay.
Oh, the fireman love, yeah.
Man. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I trained with Stipe when he first got into the UFC. Back then, he was the man.
He came out to San Diego?
Yeah, I'm friends with his coaches. They both came out, his coach and him. And
nice.
He trained, and he was intense.
What about Gusti? Are you guys still have a relationship?
Yeah, 100%.
Was that probably the toughest loss that you ever had? Was the one in Toronto against John Jones? That was an epic fight, man.
Any title fight like that, it was a tough fight for sure. It was intense. It was that fifth round, man. Just a clincher. Fifth round's always a clincher.
How quick do you even technically, he was winning the fourth. He was winning the fourth and the fifth about 3.5 minutes in, and Jones came back in each round. So if he takes the fourth and loses the fifth, he still wins. But how long does it take you to get over a loss? We talked about fighters, but what about you as a coach?
I think you just have to go back and look if we would have done anything else different. What else could we have changed, And it's just that's our job. These guys are paying us to do a job for them and figure out, can we fix it? Can we not? Do we bring somebody else in? Do we hire other coaches? Maybe I'm not the man for it. And that's all, that's all you can do. Just try to figure it out. It's a puzzle and see what it is that's stopping us from getting that.
What went wrong in the Alex fight? What would you say?
I think it was just pushing that last few, like you said, last 2 minutes of the fight, just keep on him. And it's, it wasn't conditioning. He was in shape. He was in the best shape ever. There isn't no, you should have done this different. You should have done this different. I think some of the fighters from overseas doubt their own wrestling, but Alex is the one that was coming along.
Took down
DC.
Yeah.
He's doing it. And I think part of that just makes him hesitate a little bit because his striking is world class. His conditioning is world class, and he's showing the wrestling.
Right.
But it's just not. Sometimes when you're in there, you little doubt creeps in your head, and you just got to get back in there.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of what Holly did to Ronda. John seemed like he wasn't used to people being able to hit him at that range. It took him a while to figure that out. I'm not even sure he did.
Yeah. No, he didn't. He did it. Hey, when I saw Alex hit him, I think in the first round with a solid hook. And I was like, okay, Jones can take a punch. We're here for the 5 rounds. Because Alex hits like a mule. He hits hard as hell. And then when I saw that, I was like, all right, this is going to be a grinder fight.
What are those 25 minutes like? How would you describe them?
Fast.
Fast?
Slow to them, fast to us in the corner.
Okay.
There's so much happening.
Is there frustration when they can't do what you would like them to do at that moment? Whether it be they're damaged, they're clearing cobwebs, or they're just exhausted? Like, what's all that feeling like?
It's more, at that point, we get more cerebral. How do I get him to get out of that rut that he's in for this next few seconds? How can I motivate him, piss him off, do whatever the case may be to get his attention to say, try this.
Right.
Because all we're doing is giving him suggestions. Try this, do this, do this. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe we walk them more into danger. Who knows? And then there's a trust thing where they have to trust what we're saying. And sometimes they get in a rut or they just get in a weird defensive mode or something's going on that we got to get them out of.
How do you allocate your 60 seconds in between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and so on when your fighter's winning? Is there a certain thing you want to get across to them within those 60 seconds? Have you already timed yourself? that this is what I want to say? Do you want to ground them? Do you want to give them instruction? Do you want to slap them in the ass, or do you want to remind them of, this is food on the table? Like, how do you work that out?
More importantly, I think I'm looking at them to see how fast they're recovering. Make sure that calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, this is your break. Take it for what it is. It's a break. Slow your breathing down. Take your deep breaths. Flush out that lactic acid.
Right.
And you won or lost that round.
Let's just say they won.
I see it.
Yeah.
And that's what I let them know. We lost that. We won that. And then we'll see whatever he's doing. Hey, this is working. Keep doing that. This is not working. Let's try this.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the only assessments. Then there's the emotional side of it, where you're trying to get in their psyche. Where, hey man, we're down 2 rounds. Get in there. Swing for the fences. Throw caution to the wind. Those are real things that need to happen. And the question is, how do we fire this guy up to walk into danger? Because when you're swinging for the fences, you're opening yourself up to getting knocked out as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we're already down.
Would you
rounds.
say that's a better scenario than to go in there and do the same thing that lost you the first 2 rounds? And I don't want to say go out like a sucker, but like you didn't give it everything. You didn't empty the gas tank.
100%. You have to empty the gas tank.
Yeah.
If you're down 2 rounds, what are the odds you're going to get the decision? We're not playing by that. You know what I mean? We're trying to get it. We're trying to get after it. And we're down. We got to take them out.
When you're grounding them and resting them, is it because if you don't do that, anything you say is going to go in one ear and out the other? Is it like, do they feel like they've been in a car wreck where you see in a movie where it's just there's not actual words? It's just like, is that what it is?
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's just trying to make sure they're paying attention.
Right.
Or that key things get in their head. If we give them too much information, what's going to get in there? At most, I give them 2 or 3 things to think about, and that's it. And usually, most of the technical instruction comes from outside the fence, where we're screaming certain things. Try this, try that, adjusting with them.
Right.
Sometimes I just say nothing. Hey, he's adjusting. Let him think.
What's your proudest moment of instructing a fighter in between rounds, and he applied it and got the W?
It's not the proudest moment. It's when you say it, the camera gets it, and it's executed, and it ends the fight. Mm-hmm. It's pretty impressive. Like, oh shit,
right.
Eric's the best ever. Yeah, whatever. It's the same thing we've been saying.
Do you recall a certain incident where that happened?
I think Ross Pearson did it. I remember. Sam Stout. I think that's who he fought. Knocked him out with the left hook. I think Jeremy Stevens has done it. It's just it happens.
So you go home immediately and watch the fights?
No. Usually somebody will retweet it or post it up. It's just funny to watch.
Do you watch fights or rewatch the whole card just to enjoy it that way, or?
No, I watch my guys. I couldn't even tell you who's on this card this weekend anymore. Those days are gone. I remember when I used to be able to recite to you who's on the whole card.
Really? You just don't have enough time in the day?
It's so many. It's so many fights.
Oh, wow.
With UFC, Bellator, everything. It's just so many.
How different is it when you go back and watch a fight? How different is what you saw the night of and what you saw on tape?
I think I'm more critical on myself then than when I watch it on tape. I think, I don't know. It's not too much different, but I think I'm more critical on myself.
Rogan has a lot of praise for you.
Good.
Yeah.
I like Rogan.
Yeah. No, he really says a lot of great things about you and your gym. So that's always great to hear. Yeah. I think if you'll allow me, in pro wrestling, the announcers are able to put wrestlers over. Someone will come out with a new gimmick, and then they'll say, wow, this guy's powerful. He's a destroyer. He's this and that. And the fans at home are, buying into that. So that's why Jim Ross, is really good at his job, and Mauro Ranallo now. I believe the announcers on the UFC broadcast can also put a coach over.
Sure.
And my finest example is Mark Delagrati back in the day.
Yep.
He got a lot of attention from Mike Goldberg. They actually turned out to be really good friends. But have you ever had a problem with the announcers and maybe their critiques, or just maybe not giving you enough praise, or not catching something you did that they didn't?
No, because I've always been kind of hidden. I kind of don't. I never liked the praise. Mm-hmm. The only correction I've ever had with Goldberg or Rogan is pronouncing my last name. So every time
what they say?
I don't know what they're saying, but it's Del Fierro.
You prefer them to say that?
Del Fierro.
Oh, Del Fierro will work?
Yeah. As long as you roll the R's, I'm happy.
Del Fierro.
Del Fierro.
Uh-huh.
So you can't get away with Del Fierro?
Yeah, Del Fierro's okay. It's not too far off. But Goldberg says something else. I don't know what he says.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Del Fire. He said
Del Fire?
He said
Del
that
Taco?
Yeah, he said that
butchers it completely? I like that, man. He's proud of that. You want to hear some rolling R's? Here's some rolling R's. This is Marco from Waco, Texas. What's up, Marco? Show those R's off, baby.
Marco from Waco, ¿qué pasa, datos and coach Del Fierro?
How you doing?
Hey, so Josh Barnett's pop called hot, and we all are like, are we really surprised? I mean, affliction went away because of this guy. Disappointed, man. What can I say? Josh Barnett, oh well. But I wanted to ask Coach something about the well-reported Cain Velasquez situation. He basically outed himself when he did that interview. But, the commission had to do what they had to do. What I cannot understand is not even try to shit on AKA because they got Rockhold, DC and now Cain. They're all getting hurt and pulling out of fights. But if Cain knew he was going to have surgery for this thing on his back, that his leg was getting numb, he started running for every 10 minutes, why didn't he just pull himself out of the fight? I mean, it's not fair for the promotion. It's not fair for Verdun. If he would have pulled himself out of this fight a month ago, they would have found a suitable replacement for Verdun. Maybe he'll be back fighting JDS on this fight. I'm a little bit upset with Cain, man, and I don't think this is something that's going to be able to be fixed anytime soon because that guy is just famous for pulling crap like this. We'll let you guys catch it next time.
Thanks, Marco, for the call. You have any thoughts on that? Have you seen a situation like that where your fighter's trying to just push through injuries?
Everybody does, man. Everybody fights through injuries. This is how they make their living, man.
Is it fair to the opponent, to the promotion, to the fans?
It's not fair to the promotion. It's not fair to the opponent. If it's bad enough, it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act. What can we get away with? I've had Dominic fight with a broken rib. I've seen broken hand. Like we've had different.
He entered the fight with a broken rib.
Yeah.
Shit. In the UFC.
Yeah.
Which one?
I think that was Brian Bowles' fight.
God damn. Oh, that's the one he won the title, huh?
Yeah.
WEC.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
WEC.
title shot, man. We couldn't pull out.
Have they ever been able to hide it from you?
He fucking started the fight with a broken rib?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can barely move with that. That's
You can barely
so
breathe
bad.
with that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he tore his PCL 2 weeks before the Charlie Valencia fight in the WEC. So it was maybe it's a matter of can I pull it off or not? Can I do it? And I think Cain probably thought he could do it. I don't know the situation. I don't know how bad it got this week or last week or how did it even get to the commission. Because somebody knew.
Well, he did an interview with Brett Okamoto from ESPN. He was talking about.
He was injured.
Yeah, he told him he was going to have it. What happened was, remember when the MMAjunkie came out, also known as
Yeah.
When they came out, he said, I have a fight coming up. This will be my 7th or 8th surgery. After the fight's over, my body's breaking down. How am I going to be protected when I retire? Blah, blah, blah. That started it. Brett did an interview with him, and he admitted using God, I'm terrible with this when it comes to marijuana. I'm just that's
cannabis something.
What was it?
Cannabis liquid.
Cannabaloid or something like that. Anyways, puffing on that to help with, I guess, reduction in inflammation. And all legal because as long as he's not within competition, all good. But that was a red flag. And so when he tried to get, I think he actually may have been in Vegas. The UFC doctor said you're good to go. He says the NSAC also said you're good to go, but somehow the fight did not get pushed through. And so, all this started because of his admission, his own admission. But Todd Duffy said, Jesus, if this guy can't get cleared, no one can because this guy's a beast in the training room. So
that's the question: is do you disclose the injury? Do you talk about the injury? Or are you just putting stuff out there? I would have said, I just made that up for this organization.
Yeah. I can stand watch. Time me for 9 minutes. Yeah, you're right, man.
I mean, it sucks. It sucks for Verdum. It sucks for the UFC.
Those
really
are big paydays those guys get.
Yeah, and it's
during Christmas time.
Yeah,
life-changing money.
Hey, you know what? And I know Junkie Nation and MMA fandom's gonna tear this guy up, but there are different degrees of a broken rib because Jose Aldo, remember he pulled out of the fight with Conor because of a broken rib.
Yeah.
So I know some people are going to say, well, Dominic's tough and the other guy isn't, but there are different degrees. But still, that's admirable for that guy to go in there with a broken rib.
Even when you just tear a little bit on that rib, it sucks because you can never tell when it's healthy. So you think you're healthy, you go back, and there it is again. It's one of the worst injuries, I think.
Definitely.
I mean, there's plenty of guys that go the whole camp with injury. I mean, when Phil Davis fought Rashad, he had injury the whole camp and wasn't able to spar. It's a decision we make in the camp whether we can pull it off or not. And maybe it wasn't the brightest idea looking back, but it's a choice. And these athletes are doing it every day. They do it in every sport, not just this sport. And I get Nevada's athletic commission. That's what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Say, hey, is this guy fit to fight or not?
Right. We're running out of time because I know you have to get going. Do you want to share yet another great street fight story with us before you go?
You know
it
what?
Sounded like you had a couple up your sleeve.
We have to clear something up though.
Sure.
I actually got an email from that Chola, And she said he got it all wrong. She told a story about a guy being super drunk and just paddling her head. And she sent a picture.
Let's see.
Picture of it. She said the guy came out of nowhere, started hitting her in the head.
That might be.
I don't know.
I made her look better though.
I'm enamored with this. I still can't believe that you had no contact afterwards.
I think we got kicked out of the club. I think that's what happened. They picked us up, kicked us out.
Yeah.
When he asked you, I saw your smile. This is one thing that we've learned on this show. You had this smile. That means you got a ton of these stories.
That's why we're asking.
Yeah, I don't know what the good ones would be.
Back in the TJ days again? No? The Navy?
No, I'll give you a Texas one. Texas one. It was back in when the NWA came out and everybody wants to be a gangster.
the
wrestling.
All right.
No,
wrestling?
NWA.
The rappers.
The rappers.
Okay.
Oh.
That's back in '89. I graduated high school in '89.
What am I thinking?
You guys are too young. Let me talk to him.
Yeah, I was a little too young.
It was just,
NWA? Thought you were mixing it with Hulk Hogan or something?
Ric Flair was coming out.
Yeah, it just got crazier and crazier. I remember pumping gas.
Okay.
Somehow a fight broke out right next to me at a gas station.
What is it with you and fire, by the way?
I don't know.
Somehow, okay.
I don't know.
So you're pumping gas and a fight broke out?
Yeah, so I kind of leaned over to try to help break it up, like see what's going on.
Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
Who were the participants? A man and a man,
There was
or
two
women?
guys, and then there was like 3 girls, and then a whole bunch of guys running towards them. And I thought I was doing the right thing, break it up. Then I got hit by somebody. Before you know it, I got a pump, and I'm swinging the pump at everybody. And that was the end of that.
What? Like
That was
Point
the end
Break?
Yeah, with the gas pump.
Point Break.
Hitting people with the pump. Hey, man. That's what happens when you help.
Oh, you
people.
hit him with the pump or sprayed him? The gas?
No. Not sprayed him.
Oh,
you hit him with the
I hit him with the pump.
Oh, I thought you
hit him.
sprayed
I wasn't
him
light.
with
I wasn't
the-
gonna light everybody on fire.
Well, no, that was the threat, though.
It was. Well,
All right, so you just hit him with the
started hitting
pump?
people with it. Yeah, and I just started seeing people fall. So I figured it was working.
It was working.
It was working, and then I left. I took my
And
good
all
Samaritan.
you were trying to do was be a good Samaritan.
Good Samaritan.
Wow.
It was not. It didn't pay off.
And in the end, you just took off.
I
You don't
just
know
took
what
off.
the end result
No.
was.
No,
That's
I
a
got
good
my
one,
car.
man.
I got my
That's
car.
yet another time you hit us out of nowhere. All right.
I thought he was this guy, though. In the story, I thought that's what you meant.
No.
Like you sprayed him and said, "If you don't chill out, I'm gonna."
I'll probably get arrested right now.
So but there's not much wiggle room with that pump, right? So
no,
this is
but
close.
we were in between the cars, and yeah.
That would
Because I
hurt.
still had the pump in my hand. I was
thing's
kind
metal.
of breaking them up. Then people started hitting me, so I just started hitting them with the pump.
Yeah, once they hit him,
That's gonna hurt.
all bets are off.
Yeah, I was trying to help.
That thing's heavy.
Just to clean a few things up here before the coach leaves.
Sure, no worries. Take your time,
On
man.
Louis Smolka, his Twitter handle is Last Samurai UFC. For Alex Garcia at Alex Garcia MMA, and for Eric Del Fierro at Eric Del Fierro.
Del Fierro.
Yeah. For more information on the gym he runs in Chula Vista, it's alliancegym.com. And you're also doing some matchmaking coming up.
Yeah.
What else do you have going on other than matchmaking and coaching? Is that basically it? Being a gym owner? I think you said your wife kind of is your partner in crime and that kind of stuff, right?
She helps me run and organize my life. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. We stay busy. Hopefully, we start doing shows again. Get that brand going again. Keep the guys busy in Southern California and get rid of that amateur system that's nuts down there.
Oh, one last thing I did want to ask you.
Go ahead.
I
got plenty of stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one
need
too.
like 3 hours with me.
Is there something you want to get off your chest?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what I do want to talk
Sure.
about? I want to see what you guys think about. I don't even know how many associations is there now. There's fighter organizations.
Three.
Is
There's
any
the
of them moving
PFA,
forward?
the MMAAA, and the MMAFA. The MMAFA is the one that has the class action lawsuit with Kung Lee and Randy Couture. The MMA's AA is the one with TJ Dillashaw and Cain Velasquez. And then there's
that one's focused on UFC.
UFC only. And then there's the PFA is the one that's kind of been around for about 10 years now or so.
They have it?
Huh?
Who's running that one?
Boy, I'm confused now.
The class auction, that's the Kung Lee, Nate Corey.
Yeah,
those
that's the
guys.
one that's got the baseball agent, I believe, behind him.
Jeff Boris.
Yeah, the PFA, I forget the gentleman's name, but it's kind of been around for a
I
while.
don't talk to anybody there.
Yeah, so you in favor of associations and unions?
Well, I'm a union guy. I've been unionized 23 years in the fire department, and the simple gist of this whole thing is the union is made to protect me from another fireman, not just me from management, me from ownership. It's the problem we have with this whole fighter stuff is, as long as there's fighters coming up willing to go into the Ultimate Fighter for free, we have no negotiation power, and you never will. The union has to protect these guys, and now when you have 3 unions or 3 organizations fighting against each other, it's proving the point. There is no organization. that they have to organize within themselves first and figure out how they can work together, agents, fighters, whatever, then go approach UFC, Bellator, whoever you have a problem with. But it's going to be a while.
What I wanted to ask you was, as we were doing the show, I got a text from Michael Chandler. Full disclosure, he's our landlord.
Yeah.
We've known him since Vegas. In fact, he used to train here, and Goes followed him for a day when you guys were training for The Ultimate Fighter. He linked up with you guys. The rest was history. But what I wanted to go back to, he's co-hosting Friday's show, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll have a co-host, Valentina Shevchenko, and Michael Chandler will co-host Friday's show. Well, I did want to ask you, that was 2-3 years ago when there was a few fighters that left your gym, right?
Yeah.
And I think your gym got a restructure. There was more coaches added, or like what came out of all that? Was it just the fighters that didn't jive with the curriculum, or
no?
Or
I mean, it's the thing with fighters, coaches. You pay me to do a service. If I'm a plumber, you call me to your house, I'm going to come fix your plumbing. If I do a shitty job, you don't pay me or you fire me. That's all there is to it. You know, and when a fighter comes to us, whether it's a new fighter or when it's somebody established, says, you know what, coach, I'm not happy. I need to explore other options. I need to go check other camps out. They should, because at the big picture, they're the ones making the money and they're the ones employing us. And that's literally all that happened. It wasn't more, it wasn't less.
Right. But individually, that makes sense. But when it was collective, like 4 or 5 of them maybe left?
Well,
or?
any time. I can bounce this idea with other coaches and other big camps. Usually when you have guys move, it's usually groups. It's usually groups of 2 or 3. And it's usually because one person's not happy or not satisfied, and they have to talk. They have to bounce this off somewhere. If you don't have nobody at home to talk to, you don't have a wife to talk to, or anybody, you're going to bounce it with your teammates. Hey, man, I'm not happy. Eric's going to Glamis too much. Whatever the case may be. And they're going to say, you know what? Why don't we both go try something else? And that's literally, I mean, I think in the total was 3 guys left. That's really the main guys that left. It was Chandler, Jury, and Johnny Case.
Okay. And
I'd still talk to Johnny Case and all those guys. And they're all good guys, and they all are in charge of their career. And I've had the conversation with Michael when he left as well. It's, listen, you need to do what's best for you. And he's still with Neil. He's still working with Neil. Neil went off to the Black Zillions, and that's where he ended up with. And more power to him. I mean, there's no ill will, because as many guys that will circle away from the camp, we get so many people coming in. It's just the nature of the beast. And if you asked me when I was in my late 20s coaching, it would hurt my heart. And now it's part of doing business, man. It's part of doing business.
Right. And when a guy like Phil Davis makes a decision to move, are you ever part of the does he ever ask your thoughts for that, or is it usually the fighters alone to decide that?
No, listen, I encourage everybody to go try out different camps. Just even when people come to us, say, hey, coach, I want to come do my camp here. I said, listen, before you get booked to fight, come train. Let's see if we even get along. Maybe you'll hate me. Let's try it out. Go bounce around other camps, see what's out there.
No, but I mean Phil Davis leaving the UFC for Bellator.
Were you
ever part of answering?
I like his answer, though, for the other one, too.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
No, 100%.
Oh, he did ask your input.
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of input do you give at that? Are you UFC all day, or do you see other benefits?
Everybody's different. Everybody's different where they could fit in, and obviously I didn't have nothing to do with negotiating his contract. He's managed by Zinkin and Bob Cook and those guys. But he wanted to go on open market and see what was out there. I said, let's do it. Let's see what's out there. You know what I mean? What do you think? Do you think Bellator's going to be around? Yeah, I think Bellator's going to be around. They're a well-funded show. They're bringing up that division. Why not? So at that point, it was just a good decision for him to go.
Do you like negotiating? Is that fun business for you?
It's work. It's just work now. It's easy. It's not as hard as people make it seem. It's not. You don't have to go to agent school to figure it out. But then again, I've been in the sport 20 years now.
So you can tell right away when someone's coming in with a low ball and you got to go high, like buying a car, right?
Yeah. And it's just what you can get away with. What your worth is. I mean, when it comes to these type of big events, big shows, big fighters, unless you're Conor McGregor, man, that's what's moving.
You mentioned earlier that you don't like to give predictions, and a lot of people don't like to do that. But when it comes down to, say, the Fox desk, anytime they're breaking down a fight with, like, an alliance
God, don't get me started on that one.
I know what Dominic Cruz is going to say, all right? Let's just say he went against an alliance fighter. What's the bad that can come out of it? Like, are fighters a little sensitive? Would it really, really create a stir? I mean, did you ever have that talk with him?
Well, it comes down to, let's say he's fighting, and he's a 20-1 underdog, but he's in your camp. You eat with him, sleep with him, you hang out with him 24/7. You believe he can win, or else you wouldn't let him take the fight.
No.
But he's a 21 underdog. You believe he can win. He believes he can win. That's what it comes down to. It's not a matter how great the fucking coaches are or how great the camp is. It's your belief. You believe in yourself. You believe in your system. You believe in everybody around you. And Dom has to believe in everybody, even though statistically he's watching the numbers and saying, hey, man, these guys we're a big underdog in this fight. But he's seen these guys perform in the gym. And he
yeah.
Good
Good
point.
point.
It's not just him.
Points.
It's not just
him.
him.
It's
all
Cormier will
yeah.
never go against AKA.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
Tyron Woodley
But
won't go
I
against
often
ATE.
wonder why they even do the segment.
Right,
At
that's
that
what I'm
point,
saying.
Just maybe do something
else.
else.
You could just see the way they homer, like a little bit, whether it's a camp.
Dominic will tell you the truth. He'll tell you what we have to do to win, even if we're a humongous underdog. He won't lie. He won't lie. He'll tell you exactly what they need to do. It's a tough fight, but he'll tell you the truth.
And I would prefer that. I would prefer them to go, hey, Dominic, tell us what this guy needs to do to win this fight. That I would find that more interesting than the prediction because you just know what's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, listen, this has been a blast. Thanks for opening up your life a little bit on the personal side and talking about your coaching career and lighting on hair on fire, stuff like that.
Great story.
Those are great stories. Seriously, is there anything you want to say to the fans or anybody else that's listening before we end this segment?
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys dragging me out. I didn't want to do it, but
we'll do it again sometime.
Sure.
Awesome.
It was
all
good.
right.
Thank you.
Again, follow him on Twitter at Eric Del Fierro. And Del Fierro. And you're listening to MMA Junkie on Sirius XM Rush 93. When we come back, we'll take your calls 866-522-2846. We'll talk about the latest news in mixed martial arts. See you in a few.
They are the Wright brothers of mixed martial arts. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Man, Goes, it never ends. These people associated in our sport one way or another are just some of the coolest, aren't they?
Yeah, no, that was back-to-back days because yesterday was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, we really had a blast. We've talked to Eric many times. There's Leah. If you can sign our guest book, that'd be great. We've talked to Eric many times on the phone, but we've never been able to get him in studio, so that was great. And as you can tell, he said it himself. He just doesn't really do many interviews, but we really, really had a good time. So shout out to Leah for helping make that happen. And I thanked his wife as well. His wife helps run the gym, and thank you so much for stopping by. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, we have a packed house today.
We do have a packed house. We'll see you. Nice to meet you. You know, you're more than welcome to stop by. Anybody that comes by, 10 a.m. Thanks, Leah, again.
A lot of Del Fierro fans, huh? Everybody's just ghosts.
Yeah. See you, John. All right. Okay. Yeah, the studio's packed, but once Eric left, that's it.
We're out.
Okay, Randy, take care. Yeah. Yeah, they Del Fierro had to get going. But I was saying the invite's there. Anybody, if you're ever in town and you're 21 years or older, because it is strict gaming laws here, you are more than welcome to stop by the studio and hang out. We'd love to meet you, man. We'd love to meet anybody that takes the time to listen to our show and hang out, you know, half hour, the hour, 2 hours. Sometimes when we have a lull and we remember, we'll bring you on, and we'd love to have you co-host the 15 minutes, 5 minutes, half hour. We've done it all, seriously. Just depends on the mood we're in or how the show's going. Tracy was really nice, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said she'll be back tomorrow too.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought she was leaving today.
No.
Oh, all right. No, you know, the one thing I was very poor at was Facebook engagement. I apologize if you're listening on Facebook. Usually I'm able to grab some of the comments. Yeah, but the in-studio, I tend to drift back so that there is a path between goes and the guest, and so I pull away a little bit from the laptop. But I've really been enjoying talking to you all on Facebook. Some of you are in there bashing, some of you in there contributing, but honestly, just keep hollering at us, and I will try and get a lot better at that. You can also call into the show, 866-522-2846. Call in from anywhere all over the world. We've taken calls from, I kid you not, Afghanistan, Scotland, Switzerland, South Africa, Brazil, Portugal, New Zealand, Italy, Australia, Japan.
Ethiopia,
that's right. So the UK, many times. Canada, of course. Mexico, everywhere. Call in anywhere, 866-522-2846. Let Danny know you're an international caller, and we'll try to get you on as fast as possible. Shout out to Orlando Figueroa. He says, yo, back at it again. That's right. We do this 5 times a week, 2 hours a day. It's a Monday through Friday show. It's 1 p.m. Eastern or 10 a.m. Pacific. We obviously throw out the Pacific time zone because that's what we're in. But if you're in Vegas, show starts at 10 a.m. Get here a little early, hang out. We end at 12. Sometimes we stick around afterwards. Sometimes we bounce immediately. It all depends. But, yeah, you'll get if you're a new listener to the show, you'll get this MMAjunkie radio show in your life 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. So a total of 10 hours per week if you can stand us that long. Alfonso Berry calls Eric Del Fierro. He says he was Eric Del Fuego. What were you going to say, Gus?
I got asked if we're going to be doing a Beat the Squid segment, or I guess would be our last one, right? Are we doing it this week?
I don't see why not. We've been consistent. I really do like when we start something and we end it. And so whether Sammy wants to come to the studio or not, we'll do it. Last week, him and I just put something together, and we tied, actually. So you all didn't miss nothing. Trust me.
What were you guys, 2 and 3?
I don't think so. I think we may have been 1 and 4. I don't know what we were.
Really?
We tied. We were horrible. And we did it last minute. I just wanted to get something up. But the College Bowls, did you get in the College Bowl?
No.
Oh, you missed
the whole year. I haven't done any bowls.
That one's a good one.
Or I mean, any.
I'm in 3rd place in that one, and so I'm doing well there. I didn't do good on my Beat the Squid segment, but whatever. Shout out to Angel Enamorado, South Omaha, is where she's from. Anthony LS, nobody cares. I don't know what that means. Devin Rodriguez, shout out to you. Raymundo Martin. I may be there for the show tomorrow, goes. That's Showtime from Tennessee. Do you know his name was Raymundo?
Yeah, and then you'll be happy to know, 'cause we can say who's going to be here tomorrow, right?
I said it earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I want to get the last confirmation.
Oh, okay.
I hope it's still good to go. But, yeah, we're hoping to see Valentina Shevchenko here, whether it's a co-host or at least for a while.
Mhm.
She's in town as an invited guest of the UFC. I don't think you should read into that meaning anything because the title in her division is at stake because she's already got a fight booked. If she didn't have a fight book, I would start to read into it and say, could they pull her into the cage?
But it's smart because
Yeah.
you wanna see those two gals in the cage, and then you want them to pan over to whoever's next, right? You want that Clubber Lang moment.
I expect
Somebody
Juliana
said
to be
that.
in town as well.
Yeah.
Right. The winner of that fight, Juliana Pena versus Valentina Shevchenko, has to be, in my opinion, the next in line for the winner of Nunes and Rousey. The only thing I see is if Rousey and Nunes have one for the ages. Well, there's two ways. If Rousey wins, but it's one for the ages, they may say Amanda gets a rematch. Even though she didn't have any title defenses, again, one for the ages. The other way is if they draw, like what Thompson and Woodley did. Dana was all over that. He goes, we got to run it back. I didn't think they had to, honestly, because I think they had Damian Maia waiting. And I think you give Thompson one fight, and if he wins, okay. Remember, he's the guy that drew with Woodley.
Mhm.
But I didn't think that meant you automatically just get a run back. If it was like football, and you said, "Oh man, Woodley and Thompson, you drew," well, we're running it back next Sunday. Like in the NFL, cool. But dude, when you got to wait 3 to 6 months, that sucks. That sucks for a guy like Damian Maia, because that means he's got to wait those 6 months, hope that there's not another draw or another classic, and then come around and fight. Well, he's 38, 39, so I don't know. Now, that said, it was a great fight. I wouldn't mind seeing the run back, and I do like Thompson's style. He's exciting. So once they decide and they run with it, yeah, I'll support it and I'll watch it. It was one hell of a fight. But that's the one problem I do have with rematches. I think you got to be real careful with who you give it to.
You don't see one more scenario out there? I see one more.
Nunes and Rousey. Okay, yeah, I guess if there's an eye poke 30 seconds into the fight and nothing ever went down, then yeah, run it back.
Now, this is what I'm looking at.
Okay.
A whole division was built for Cyborg. Cyborg is no longer in that picture. Okay, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
If something were to happen to that matchup, and Ronda said, "Look, I got one more in me, and I want to avenge that loss," maybe Holly.
If who loses? Oh, okay. If Ronda wins
if they
the
break-
title, but avenges
yeah.
against Holly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
something has to happen to that matchup. Though.
Yeah, they have to.
But we have to remember that whole thing was created for Cyborg.
Right.
So you could see, there could be an injury.
Mm-hmm.
There could be maybe we don't want to cross this path. But I could see a scenario where if Ronda said, "I got one more in me, but it's got to be that fight,"
yeah,
I think she would get what she wants.
We're lining up a lot of dominoes,
Mm-hmm.
but it could happen. But yeah, there's a lot to get to. I now believe 125 is going to happen
for a female.
If they put together 45 and there's not many out there, I think 125 is now going to happen. And I'm optimistic that 65 and 75 will arrive for the men, those two divisions, and they'll retire 170, and we'll be good to go from 105 to 185, and then the jump to 205, and then I don't know if they'll have another. I don't think you need to split heavyweights right now, do you?
There's just not.
Have you ever heard a 230-pound one heavyweight say, "Boy, that guy"? I mean, yeah, they say the guy was strong, the guy was this, the guy was that, but I don't think they complain and say they need their own division.
Look at the guys who have been successful, right? I mean,
they're mostly in the 240 range.
They're mostly on the
Except for
smaller
Brock.
side of that.
Yeah. Let's see. Devin Rodriguez says, "What's up, Goes?"
What's up, Devin?
Anyone else getting sound from Shimura Aquino Quintana? Show hasn't started. Dave Sadler, he's letting people know. Okay, thanks. So people are starting to catch on. That Goes turns on the camera 5-10 minutes. How many minutes now, Goes?
It's 10 minutes.
10 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
He's still prepping. People are in and out. We're getting ready. It's not that we don't know that the sound's not on. It's just we're just turning it on a few minutes early. But the show starts at 1 1:03. Technically 1:03 we start talking p.m. Eastern, 10:03 a.m. Pacific.
There are a lot of flags there, though. I mean, really, when you think about it. Obviously, you know, I'm not going to do the show by myself. Usually George's here. So I would look at it and go, hey, George isn't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fallback is the big O sign that says, show hasn't started yet.
Roberto Rodriguez says, I've always wondered how it looks like from GG and Goza's point of view. What is it that they see? And I don't know what they're talking about.
They're talking about what the backdrop over here, what's on this side, which actually I could probably show them really fast. Want me to do that?
Sure. Do it right now. I'll keep doing shout-outs, and Goza will step away here and kind of show us. You're going to hold up the camera and just spin it around? All right, so Goza won't be able to talk. I'll just do the talking for him. Shout out to Robert Swanson. He says, is Conor challenging for the 170-pound belt? Ali Abdelaziz, manager, who was here in studio a few days ago, he put that out. I think it's a possibility, but all right. So there's Goes. Let me track what he's doing. He's basically just done about a 180 right now. That's what we look at. So as you can see, this is a sports book in the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. There's our mugs right there on the left and the right. And that's our step and repeat where we sometimes take pictures. And now Goes is doing a complete circle. That's kind of where his station is. Now he's spinning back around. That's the whole sports book. And I know the TVs don't look that impressive, but no, this is a very impressive sports book here. You can see some of the trusses that hold up the lighting. Goes, can you show them the lighting? This is the lighting that's in our eyes. It's very, very bright. And as you can tell, we have an open roof. And that's a little bit behind the scenes. Elvert Rakoma. He says, can you dig it? All right, I'll finish out with some of the shout-outs later on. We are disappointed in what's happening with Josh Barnett. It has – eventually, I believe this will be dealt with and more than likely from what we've seen in the past. The fighter will have to sit out a certain amount of time. I just don't know. This is the third, fourth time that Josh has had a problem within the UFC. Third time with the UFC, once with Affliction. Therefore, the question is his career with the UFC over? I believe it might be. I don't think his MMA career is over because in Japan they don't test. There's no commissions. You just show up and you fight, which is kind of like what Crow Cop's doing, for example. So I believe he'll probably conclude his career there. I may be wrong. Maybe he only gets a year, sits out, waits, and fights in the UFC. But he actually won a world title once and had to be stripped. So I don't believe that he's going to get the type of leeway as other fighters do. Groovy Lando Venata has a fight. He's fighting David Timur at UFC 209 in Las Vegas. Chael Sonnen passed a pre-fight drug test for Bellator 170 against Tito Ortiz. He's tested positive before for performance-enhancing drugs, so I guess it's kind of news when he passes the test.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big figure in the sport, that's for sure. Ryzen takes place. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, it's got to be tonight, right?
I've heard that it's 10 p.m. tonight our time, 1 a.m. Eastern. Can somebody confirm that?
Time.
So tonight at 10 p.m. is when King Mo will be fighting Crow Cop. There is a website out there that's going to be streaming it. But if someone can hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, let me log on to Twitter. We have like 2 minutes left. And let us know. That'd be great. But, oh, fuck it. No, we don't have that on Junkie, do we? That information?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth a watch, man. I'm going to watch it. You?
I'm going to watch it because there's fighters that I love watching, and they'll be on that card. There's a couple of dumb matches, that's for sure, that I don't know if I'm going to waste my time with. But I can definitely stay up till, whenever it concludes, 2 a.m. or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, with another edition of MMA Junkie Radio. I want to thank our guest today, Louis Smolka. Thanks to Jason for hooking that up, Jason House. Alex Garcia. Want to thank Mitch Mayberger and his wife for hooking that up. Mitch is a manager who manages McDessie and Alex Garcia and a few other guys, and he's been in the studio before. Real cool guy. Actually, I'll just keep what I was going to say to myself because, I'll tell you later.
All right.
I started thinking about it. But a shout out to him for.
That's not a bad thing. It's just something you probably don't want to say.
Leah Almondia hooked up the Eric Del Fierro interview, so thank you to her. And that's it for us, man. Tomorrow, I think we're going to have a co-host here, Valentina Shevchenko. We'll see how that goes. Maybe a couple other names. I think we need to break down some of the fights on this card, too. You want to give a shout out to Dan Tom, see what he's up to?
Yeah,
put together a last-minute lineup?
For tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Tim Means is going to be on the show on Friday.
Want me to get another guy? Or?
He wants some of that junkie karma. Fighters who do the show on the day of the fight, 55-14. Michael Chandler will guest co-host, too. Go out there, be champions.
I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that